Welcome back to the Barrel Zone. Sorry for the slight delay. We had some tech issues, but hopefully it's all fixed and we are ready to go. So this is the Monday morning edition, season 1, episode 11. We have a nice little 8-game MBS slate to look into. I'm going to put up my odds screen as we are running a bit behind, and we are going to get into it in a minute. If you have any questions or feedback, please reach out to me on Twitter at the Barrel Zone. And yeah, let's get right into it. We have only 3 games with odds right now, but I'm going to talk about all the games, even the ones that are off the board, as the most important and interesting ones are off the board right now. So the first game of the day is the Cleveland Cavaliers hosting the Memphis Grizzlies. It's a clash of trash game, but the current line on softbooks is Cleveland -2, and I don't think that's right. I kind of favor Memphis a bit in this game. A few things you have to note. The Cleveland Cavaliers will be without Sexton, and Garland is also questionable. So these are the 2 starting guards. They play the Jazz tomorrow. So I think Sexton will also sit this one out. That's a more important game. If he's ready to go, coming back from injury, he probably won't be playing in both games of the back-to-back. So I'm kind of making my line thinking that he won't be playing here. So the Cavs are down their 2 starting guards if he's also out. It's important to note that they have 3 total players who are better than league average when it comes to scoring, and it's Sexton, Garland, and Larry Nance Jr., who has been playing great this season. So they will probably without 2 of those players. Since Garland and Sexton has been out, they've scored less than 100 points in all their games. Actually, they scored less than 100 points in 7 games in a row. So this is a low total. You can see the opener was 217.5 on some books last night, but I'm kind of leaning towards the Grizzlies here. They've put up 115 points against Brooklyn their last time out, and while Brooklyn wasn't at full health, they are still like a decent defense. The Grizzlies are also on extra rest. Cleveland has the back-to-back, the big game against Utah tomorrow. So this rest thing is also setting up pretty well for the Grizzlies. And obviously the rebounding edge. While Memphis has been struggling since the best player, Ja Morant, went down, they are still a top 10 rebounding squad on both ends of the floor. And Cleveland is the bottom 3 when it comes to defensive rebounding. So they let their opponents control the glass, and I think the Grizzlies will be able to get offensive rebounds here. My line with Garland and Sexton out is Grizzlies -1.5. So if you can grab Grizzlies money line at slight plus money right now at some soft books, I think you should go ahead and do that. Valanciunas had some COVID issue, but he has been cleared. He tweeted last night that he will play. So the Grizzlies JJJ is still not in, and Morant is out for the season. But besides those 2, they are at full health. And I think they will figure it out. This won't be a good team, but they have better fundamentals than the Cavs. And the Cavs missing the 2 starting guards will hurt them, I think. So I think Memphis can get to 100 points here, and based on what we've seen from Cleveland offensively, that should be enough to cover this game. So Grizzlies are bust. I like the Grizzlies a bit. If you have access to any lines right now, you should hop on it. I think this will probably open around the Pick'em on Pinnacle, and I wouldn't be surprised if some Grizzlies money comes in. Next game, another one that's off the board, but we have some soft openers up. The Wizards are getting 5.5 points at home against the Phoenix Suns. I think 5.5 isn't enough here. I'll just flat out say it. My fair price is Phoenix -5 if everyone is playing on the Wizards, but Westbrook won't be playing and Thomas Bryant is out for the season. I think it's another ACL tear. We had a couple of those this season already. So yeah, I mean, Bryant was by far the best player on this team, in my opinion, offensively at least. If you watch their games, um, he had a great season so far. The guy is young; he will come back, but I think the season is kind of over for the Wizards at this point. They are 2-8. Westbrook isn't working, and they are down the best player. So Bryant was averaging 145 points per 100 possessions. Just to demonstrate how good that is, Beal, who is pretty amazing, averaging 122 points. So he's averaging more than 20 points more per 100 possessions than Beal. I mean, obviously a bit lower usage rate, but he's an extremely important part of the offense. So he won't be playing here. He's worth multiple points in my opinion. You have to probably downgrade the Wizards by not having Westbrook a bit as well. So yeah, I think the fair price here with these two not playing is something like Suns -8, 7.5. So I mean, this 5.5 is very much off if you factor everything in. The Phoenix offense has been top 5 this year, and the Wizards have a bottom 5 defense, no question about that. And if you see how efficient the Suns have been, 6th highest in points per possession, 3rd highest in effective field goal percentage, 2nd highest in free throw rate. I mean, yeah, it's they are figuring it out, and I think they will have success scoring here. On the other end, I mean, I was always saying that the Wizards are a borderline top 10 offense. With Bryant out and Westbrook not playing here, we have to downgrade that seriously. And I mean, they are 2-8. This is not looking good. The Suns are the side here. This 5.5 will go up to 7, 7.5, even 8 when Pinnacle opens this. So yeah, we have two early games that with no lines where I think both lines are off. So this day is off to a pretty good start. Hopefully we will you can get on these games and you'll be able to get some tickets. All right, next game, Orlando Magic at home getting 7.5 to 8 points against the Milwaukee Bucks. This game is again off the board. The reason is probably Giannis has some kind of back issue, but he's probable to play. So I think everyone will be playing for Milwaukee. As for the Magic, they are down Fultz, obviously, the starting point guard, ACL tier. He hurts this team. I mean, his lack hurts his team so much. He had an amazing season. My favorite team was the Magic to watch this season while he was playing. He ran the floor great, and since he's been out, they scored 90 points against Houston and 98 against Dallas. Neither team is known for their defense. So, I mean, Cole Anthony, a rookie, he's running the point. I don't think he's ready. He might put up some good stats on his own, but I mean, the chemistry is still not there. Michael Carter-Williams is also out. Fournier is still questionable. He won't play, in my opinion. He has been questionable for like 10 days. I'm considering him out until he plays, as this has been pretty I mean, he's always that questionable, but he never shows up. So, yeah, Milwaukee, obviously, top ranked offense, top in efficiency, points per possession, everything. And they have a league average defense, which should be enough here. I mean, if you look at Orlando, they average the 6th lowest points per possession, the lowest effective field goal percentage in the whole league. I mean, yeah, this is going to be ugly. They are still a decent defense, but decent defenses don't stop Milwaukee, as we know that. And offensively, I think missing their point guard, missing a couple of guys who contributed some good touches. This could be ugly. All Orlando has left basically is a good turnover rate and a decent rebounding, but on their own they are worth dog shit. Um, I make this game pretty close to where the number on the soft books currently sits. So 7.5 to 8 points, Milwaukee. I think this is a fair line. You cannot really back the Magic. There will be spots to back them against teams that don't play smart and don't have an overwhelming offense, but this isn't the spot. Next game, I'm going to be quick on this. The Hornets are hosting the Knicks. Knicks are on a back-to-back. They played pretty heavy minutes last night in a loss to Denver. Randall played 38 minutes. Other starters were averaging around 32 to 33 minutes. So, yeah, ugly stuff for the Knicks when it comes to minutes. I mean, this game, these teams are very similar. I have like the Hornets rated like a point better than the Knicks. So if you factor in the back-to-back, the travel, the high usage rate, you can get to these 4.5 points where the current spread sits. As you can see, this is a low total, 210 on the board. The under has been bet consistently since the game has come online. I mean, Knicks have a bottom three offense, but a good defense. I think that will probably slow the Hornets down. And then on the other side, the Hornets are just league average defense and the bottom 10 offense. So, yeah, the Hornets will have some offensive edge. The Knicks might have some defensive edge. But as I said, my rating is really close on these two teams. With the back-to-back and the current good form of the Hornets, I think this 4.5 is fair. Both teams are pretty big overperformers this season, but especially the Hornets. I mean, I think by now the market has caught up to the Knicks. There isn't too much value betting them. Everyone figured out they will play tough defense, and it's factored in. But the Hornets are I mean, they are outperforming their closing spreads by 5 point something points on average. So over 5 points per game on average. That's insane. Yeah, part of that is obviously credited to good play, but they have been also getting lucky. But yeah, we might have been sleeping on them. But I think it's time to start fading them, but not here. The Knicks have trouble scoring, and on the second night of the back-to-back, I cannot get involved with them, but I will be selling this Hornets team down the line. Next game, Atlanta Hawks hosting the Philly 76ers. If you just put up raw power numbers, this should be Philly -2 on the road. And the game is off the board, obviously, because of the 100 question marks with Philly. But soft books have a Hawks -6.5 to 7, so it's like a 9-point-ish adjustment. And I mean, I think this correction is decent. I try to handicap this game myself, but it's really difficult when you have so many injuries on one side. So the Philly played the game against the Denver with 8 players the last time out, as they have been hit by a COVID outbreak. So the players who played in that game are Matthias Green, Howard, Isaiah Joe, Maxi, Paul Reed, and Tony Bradley. Not really impressive, yeah. And basically 2 more guys will be able to play here. Embiid, who is obviously a big plus, and Mike Scott. So basically, if you check, this is down to Embiid, Danny Green, Dwight Howard, who are kind of NBA caliber players, and some backups. That's the current Philly team. and they are playing a back-to-back here, and as they are playing in Miami tomorrow. So I'm not really expecting anything from Philly, but you cannot really lay many points with the Hawks either. We've seen them. I mean, the underlying numbers aren't that bad, but they are just so untrustworthy. I cannot even start on it. So yeah, I think, I mean, the Hawks should win this easily. The Sixers could just punt this, and like Embiid plays like 20 minutes as they have a bigger game tomorrow. But I think they accepted that they will lose all these games. So it's just really difficult to predict what will happen with this many injuries. But I mean, my line is Hawks -6, -7, and that's where the market is. Thankfully, so I don't have to get involved. But I think this is a game for you to skip. Obviously, Hawks or bust. Don't try to back Philly here. We don't know what the plan is. They really just might sit and beat after all, and they play him tomorrow or something like that. But yeah, don't get involved. The next game is another one where we have a COVID issue. Only 20 teams left who didn't have any COVID issues, but thankfully there are only a few who have these huge outbreaks. I think 3 or 4 teams who are the most hit with this thing. So Dallas has 4 players out in the COVID protocol. They are Josh Richardson, Dorian Finney-Smith, Brunson, and Maxi Kleber, the fourth guy who has been just put on the COVID list. So it's basically 3 starters and one in the top backup in Brunson. I've been saying, I mean, the Mavs are just like a stars and scrubs lineup. These guys are worth some points, but I mean, I'm not a huge. I mean, Brunson is decent, Richardson is decent. I don't like Lieber or Finney-Smith. I don't think this group of 4 players is worth that much, to be honest. And on the bright side, the Mavs will have Porzingis returning today. We don't know about any minutes restrictions for him. He has been training for 10 days now consistently. He has been a full go for 10 days in training. So, I mean, we could see him probably playing 30 minutes or so. I'm not sure he will be limited, especially it's because the team has these COVID injuries and they are missing many guys. So they could just let him loose. And I think Porzingis returning is probably worth around the same or a bit more than the 4 guys sitting, if that makes any sense. So obviously we are expecting him to be at least like playing 25 to 30 minutes. I think that's realistic. But if that happens, you don't really have to downgrade the Mavericks for missing those 4 players I've been talking about. So yeah, my line here is Dallas -4, 4.5. That's what we see on the soft books. I think if we get a better value on Dallas when Pinnacle opens up, they should be the side. Um, I'm not very high on the Pelicans. I've always been saying like I don't really like how they handle the rotation. They are not bad, not good on either side of the ball. Some pretty ugly stats besides the rebounding. And the thing we have to note here is Steven Adams, who had these migraine issues in the past. He is questionable due to this migraine thing that has come up for him. Adams is the most efficient offensive player of the team. He's averaging 127 points per 100 possessions, and he's also leading the team in rebounds at 8.9 rebounds per game. So if he is out, I'm betting the Mavericks. I think he is such an important part of this team and one of the few efficient scorers and the best rebounder on the team that basically survives by strong rebounding. If he is out, I think Dallas is a really good bet, especially as I think Doncic and Porzingis playing is way more than enough for them to put up enough points to cover this. I mean, they have enough players to fill the gaps of the other guys missing. This isn't like a super deep team, but besides Doncic and Porzingis, they don't have players who cannot be backed up by other guys on the roster. We've seen like Tim Hardaway getting strong minutes and dropping like 30. So yeah, I think the Dallas is the side even with the COVID injuries. If Adams is sitting, if he's playing, I think this is a stay away game. I agree with the current line what we see up there. I'm not sure the books got to this line the same way I did, but I think in the end, if Adams plays, we will see something similar like this. So yeah, but I want to fade the Pelicans, and I respect the Mavs even without Porzingis. They've put up some decent stats on both sides of the floor. So yeah, him back, decent coaching edge. I think they are the side. And even if Adams plays, I mean, if you have these migraines, I mean, it's not like you are either like a go or not. If he goes, I don't think he will be 100%. He's one of the tougher guys in the league, so one would expect that he will try to play through it. But if this gets down to like the Dallas -3 or 3.5, even if we don't know Adams' status, you might want to grab a ticket with the Mavs. Next game, Portland, Toronto. It's another interesting one where we have travel and the back-to-back for the visiting team. The Blazers are 5-point favorites at home. What we have to note, Toronto played last night, and they've played some heavy minutes against Golden State. They've lost by 1, but Siakam played 40 minutes, Van Fleet 39, rest of the starting lineup around 35 minutes. This is a back-to-back with travel, a terrible spot for them. This is the end of their four-game Western road trip. This is, there are pretty good historic stats if you look back about these last games of cross-country road trips for teams. They don't look very good against the spread. So even just based on that, you don't really want to mess with Toronto. And they've played a close game, a very tough loss, and the high minutes. And while I've been always bashing the Blazers defense, and these are both at this point like bottom 10 defenses. Portland's have been getting a bit better from the start, and there are a couple of things that I like in their profile. They are giving the least balls away as an offense, so they have like a 10% turnover rate, which is huge. I mean, taking care of the ball when you are on the offensive, that's one of the most important things in this league. Not giving away extra possessions to your opponent. And they are averaging over 115 points per possession. That's the fourth best in the league. So yeah, I'm starting to buy in a bit, and I'm not sure the Blazers will be that good, but they've gotten a bit better since the year started, and I still don't like the bench there. There are a couple of issues here and there, but I mean, Toronto is just a mess right now on both sides of the floor. You can't really touch them on the tail end of a back-to-back and at the end of the road trip. So yeah, my line is Portland -4 and we see a 5. So if we would want to back the Blazers, we would have to pay some extra, and I'm not willing to do that. It's still a bad defense, and I'm not sure that I'm ready to lay big numbers with them. But I think Portland will get the win here, and they would be the side for me to look at. I think we will have a couple of good spots with them in the next week or so. I was looking at the schedule this morning, so yeah, we will be able to back Portland in a couple of games this week, but not here. Last game on the docket. This one is another one where I kind of like a side. The Sacramento Kings are hosting the Indiana Pacers. The Pacers are laying 5 points on the road. This was open Pacers -2 at some super soft books last night. Sadly, I wasn't able to grab that, but I mean that's up there in the with the top maybe 5 worst openers this season. So yeah, my line is close to the current market line. Pacers are constantly getting bet up. The reason is as both Buddy Hield and Richard Holmes are questionable. Hield had a terrible January. He's shooting like 30% so far, and this whole and I mean, if you check the whole season, it's also pretty ugly. And he's at the bottom of the league, like bottom 20% in efficiency numbers. So yeah, he will need probably a few games to just rest or something and figure it out, as it hasn't been looking that great. And Holmes has been playing well, and he's, I think, an underrated part of this Kings team. So if he sits, I really like the Pacers. Holmes is averaging 13 points and 7 rebounds, but he has been the most efficient player on the team, averaging 145 points per 100 possessions. That's top 6% of all NBA players. So, I mean, yeah, he's been playing great, and he would be probably important to have in this matchup, but I mean he isn't 100%. So even if he plays, I think we can fade the Kings here, who will be likely missing 2 starters. This is also their third game in 4 nights, and through the last 4 games they have allowed at least 124 points in 4 straight games. The defense is just getting worse and worse. I've been consistently downgrading the defense, but at this point it's probably bottom 5. And if you look at the Pacers, I mean, you have to like what you see. Obviously, they are 2-0 on the road this season. They've beaten the opponents by, I think, 10 points on average on the road. I mean, yeah, low sample size. But, I mean, Oladipo looks explosive. He looks healthy. He's shooting better than before. Brogdon and Sabonis all made improvements. The team is very well coached. I really like the direction this season. They are shooting more threes. They are getting the easy buckets inside. So I mean, there is a huge difference when it comes to overall level of talent between these two, and level of coaching. And if the Kings are missing 2 starters on top of that, I think the Pacers might be a good bet. But as I said, if both guys are playing, I'm around Pacers -4.5. So I don't have a numbers edge here. It's just let's say personal preference. So that's about it for today. I'll go through the games once again that I like. The Grizzlies, I think, should be very, very slight road favorites against Cleveland. You should be able to grab the money line at slight plus money. I think the Phoenix line will move towards Phoenix, and we will see I don't know, Suns -6, 6.5, 7 open up. I wouldn't be surprised if we see one-way action there. I liked the Mavs in the Pelicans game. I don't have line value there. I agree with the current line, but if Adams is out, I think the Mavs are the side, even with Porzingis being possibly limited. And then I kind of like the Pacers, but again, no numbers edge. So yeah, the lines have been better these last couple of days. Even in the spots that I like, the numbers edge have been pretty small usually. Yeah, we will see how this goes, but at least what we have also seen, the results are kind of normalizing, so we don't have these huge dogs blowing out favorites by 20. And the first few weeks of the season have been rough, but I think the last few days we've seen some improvement. All right, this is it for today. Please follow me on Twitter at the Barrel Zone if you want to tell my plays and read my written analysis that I post on all games every morning. You can go to patreon.com/the Barrel Zone and join the Discord channel. And I'm going to see you tomorrow at the same time. And thanks for tuning in.